Yeah, we talk about that a lot because it does change things. There is no relationship. You can't. It's harder to understand personalities, and it's just. I definitely want to. I think that even a lot of the coaches want to get back to that, because Tom Allen, for example, that's everything he does is built on relationships, and most people, for that matter. So I think most people want to get back to that. I know I do, and everybody on here does. Charlie
Well,
does.
mentioning that, the dead period is over. What was that? 15 months long. It was a long, long time. It's just reopened. And mentioning Coach Tom, I know he has sent Kevin Wright or put Kevin Wright in charge of, sending the coaches out to the camps that are open across the country. Indiana has recruited well in Florida, Georgia. They're down there where the coaches can have that, Jim, one-on-one contact and continue to develop the personal relationships because, as you know, that's what Tom is all about. And you really get a feel for a person in that regard when you can sit down with them and, without a mask on and see their face countenance and see what they're made of. So it's busy time for Tom with the rest of the month with on-campus visits and to a certain extent with Coach Mike, who Woody's done a heck of a job here since March the 28th, developing this basketball team that hopefully will, take Indiana back to the top. And I mean the top as a championship basketball club and not just a contender. I'm an interested onlooker. And boy, I know with, we've seen the early success that he's had already, especially with transfers, and wish him nothing but the best. But I want to go out and see him, not so much interview him, just say hi. So maybe next Thursday, he'll have a chance. He gets a chance to work with his ball club for the first time. So hopefully the doors to Cook will reopen for the old man.
Charlie, you know quite well what Joe's talking about.
Yeah. Well, I was going to just say, again, I think that as an onlooker to you guys, having expressed interest in media in the sense of what we're doing right now, what I hear from you guys is more, especially from Joe, the interpersonal relationships that were missed, right? And I think that's where Coach Allen has done a great job on the football side, getting to know people, getting to figure them out. The X's and O's, the technique, I think that was already qualified. Basketball, being able to play defense, offense, shoot, football, be able to tackle, run routes. It's then now, who are you as a person? And I think that's the interest. Because when things aren't going well, it's the relationship that's going to keep us together.
Mm-hmm.
It's the interpersonal relationship that's going to embody that experience. So that's, to me, without that, you just, again, it's just too much robotic-like, right? So I'm glad. It's good to hear when I hear people like Joe, you, Jim, talking about that. It's interpersonal relationships, man. That's what it's about.
Absolutely, everything is built upon that, and it's great. But it's great to see it being brought back around, as we've talked about, and not just the IU basketball family, but it's more than that. It's the community, it's Bloomington, it's the state. That the state of which parts that favors Indiana, at least, which is a large section. But there was just, Joe, so much fraction in all of those sections. Even amongst the players, there was fractions within the players. And since the firing of Coach Knight, I guess there has never been where their players are all in one bubble or one circle, I guess you could say.
Right.
Does that sound fair to say?
Well, it's definitely fair to say. I thought we saw that in motion this past season. When we went through that tough stretch, I can, Eric Sewer and myself, Eric would drive us up to the virtual. We did all of the road games except for a couple of stops, Purdue, Ohio State, virtually from a studio in Indianapolis. And, we went through that tough stretch as well with the wins and the losses. But that being said, this is why Coach Knight built such a tremendous, concept of I'm coach, you're my player, you're going to learn from me, and this is how it's going to be done. And we see now a former player, a former great player in Mike Woodson grab hold of the reins, and we're seeing the family concept already evolving. We started to see that when Bob came back, to Assembly Hall to cheering crowd, and all of the players that showed up to honor Coach Knight in Assembly Hall. That kind of broke the fracture, Jim. And now Woody has taken hold of the reins, and that's what it's all about, bringing Indiana basketball back to where it was. And I have no question that it will be accomplished under Mike and that staff that he's put together. Look at that staff. I mean, he even goes back. He brings back Anitra House. He brings and talks about Hank Foyer, the neurosurgeon that worked on his back, that miracle that happened when Woody came back and did what he did and led Indiana to a Big Ten championship. Dane Fife coming back, former player. So, and Charlie knows how important that is to be coming back. And I know he will, living down in Texas. Charlie, and I've seen you from afar when you've already made your visits into Assembly Hall when you can to see Indiana play. And it's just great to see the players come back. And as I say, basketball will be here in time, but I'm interested too in what Tom Allen will do in his 5th year as well. So, hey, it's a great state of the state. We're kind of returning to normalcy. And, I'm on here on a Zoom call you call that now? Is that what we're doing? And, man.
Hey, Zoom is now a verb, it's we've done so many of them, exactly right. But, one thing I want to say, it's funny you say all those things because it goes right back to passing the torch. The torch light got dimmed. I wouldn't say it was taken out or blown out. It's just now taking that cover off that torch and letting that torch continue. And the wins and losses will take care of itself, but just there's excitement, Joe. I talked to Jim about every sport at Indiana, not just basketball, football, women's basketball, baseball, men's soccer that we've known for ever since I was in school, almost 30-something years of passing of the torch. So it's just an exciting time for me as a former player, but someone who loves IU, just hearing how much all the sports teams are achieving and doing well.
And we still have track and field. Ron Helmer's doing an outstanding job. And the NCAA National Championships next weekend, Charlie, are out in a brand new Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. And we got guys Ben Veach and Kayla Dawson, just to name two that have had outstanding years in what has been a fractured, spring season, but they've competed well and will be competing next week, and we wish them well. And the great job Todd Yeagley did with his soccer team. A disappointing loss, but boy. And then great news yesterday, hearing Spencer Glass is coming back for that extra year, that extra COVID year. And boy, I tell you what, if Todd moves him to midfield, look out. The Hoosiers will be back in the College Cup. And Jeff Mercer, we can go right down the line. Disappointing end of the season, but yet too, it was so disappointing not to allow fans in the BART. That was to go by there and not see any cars when we were playing, except for parents. That was tough. And but that being said, right man for the job. He's done a heck of a job, and we'll be back contending. And maybe next year we'll be on the road to Omaha. So there's so many, like you said, Charlie. Go right down the list. Every 24 sports, there's something to get excited about as we take the process forward and forget COVID-19.
That's right.
We got to do this every Friday, man. If you're off at this time, oh man, I'm going to make this the Joe Smith segment. It just makes it magical. Absolutely. So are you're going to go? I saw Mike yesterday, by the way, Glascott, who you'll be working with later today.
Yep.
Glass in the afternoon in Bloomington. But yeah, I saw him yesterday. Tell him I said hello. But yeah, this has been a blast. What's coming up next for you other than what we've already talked about?
Myself?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Besides
No,
getting out of that chair at some point.
Well, I'll get out of the chair because Woody, my cat is named Woody, and but Woody's 4 years old. After my accident, I had to get a cat, so his name was Woodrow. His full name, I call him Woody. So I got two pieces. I got
very appropriate.
Yeah. So anyway, planning on watching my grandson pitch. He's on the travel team. He's 9 years old for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and he's having an excellent spring. He's a left-hander, and matter of fact, he got a little ring. The kids won the Center Grove Championship 2 weeks ago, and onward and upward there. So looking forward to watching him compete the rest of the summer. So it's just I stay busy, and we've got regional baseball and all kinds of stuff left. Golf yet on the state beat. Bloomington South is top 5 in the state. So a lot going on.
Absolutely. Man, it has been an absolute blast having you on, and love to do this whenever we can. It's just fun. You talk about a fun way to wrap up a Friday. Can't imagine a better way to do it than with Joe Smith.
Well, appreciate you guys having me on. It's good seeing George and Charlie.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not going to bring up a bad name, but remember Chauncey Billups?
Yeah. That's not bad to me. It's all memory.
Huh?
It's all memory, man.
He's a great player, but he ended our season, didn't he? What?
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. That was in
Winston-Salem. It was in Winston-Salem, wasn't it?
No. Let me go back. Idaho freshman year, sophomore year, Florida.
Yeah.
Junior year, that was Chauncey.
Yeah.
That wasn't North Carolina. Was that North Carolina?
Yeah. Well, he got hot at the wrong time and
took us out. He went crazy. Yeah,
he got about 36 on us that day. Didn't miss his shot.
Chauncey's a good guy.
I hope you weren't guarding Chauncey.
No. I think everybody was guarding Chauncey.
Yeah.
But no, great guy. If he wasn't a great guy, he had a bad name. But no, he's awesome guy.
Yeah, I played with Colorado.
Yeah.